Nice. Short and sweet. Hello, everyone. Brian Jennings, the Millennial Dragon. Right? The madman who talks out of his ass constantly. This channel exists specifically, right, to ruminate on the nature of wisdom, the nature of power, right? And on a simpler level, to discuss my relationship with the auteur, Quentin Tarantino. Right? I didn't write that song because of our relationship, but it's quite fitting. I wrote Quentin a series of letters about playing the lead in the movie Critic, which set into motion a sequence of events that led to where we are now. Right? So, we're talking about the nature of reality. We're talking about how Quentin does what he does. Right? We're talking about how I do what I do. We're talking about the writing. Right? I've written a novelization of my experiences with Quentin on the psychic frontier. Quentin is a powerful clairvoyant, right? Who enjoys remote viewing people, who enjoys occupying foreign territory. Right? The map is not the territory. Right? The brain is not the mind. Right? So, Quentin is, top 1% clairvoyance all the world over. I would say that I probably fall in that category myself as well, right? Though I only say I'm likely the most powerful clairvoyant in the millennial generation. Right? There's probably, 7 or 8 generations all living right now, right? And so the two of us have been embroiled in this hideous psychic siege for over a year now. And so he's kicking back off, right? Production Weekly. This is not me, right? This is not like weird tinfoil hat Alex Jones, right? Production Weekly has published, right, that an untitled Quentin Tarantino project is kicking off with Stacey Sher and Sony, right? Likely Angie McDonald too, December of this year, right? So, right, without going on and on, right? Because it's just like it's an endless thing in both of our lives, right? After I didn't bend to his psychic whim, right? At De Niro Con, right? There's the lanyard, right? There's the ticket, De Niro Con, right? At a screening of Jackie Brown, right? He and the people around him entered into a covenant to compel me to madness, to make me seem insane, right? Really, really base, ugly things, right? And so this is what I mean when I say, right, that he failed his initiation, right? He's been blessed with much in this world, right? For his mind, on a principle level, I would say, we could lump somebody else into that category too. Maybe I won't say that. Maybe I'll save that for last, right? But my point is that, right, this is what he does, right? Like that I didn't give him what he wanted. That's the easiest way of putting it, right? And I've gone through the 7 stages, where I spent months feeling bad about myself. And I should have done it. It's high magic, of course. Sure. It's not, right? It wasn't a little thing that I did, right? But, right, the Lord Almighty hovers over all, right? That divine intellectual abstraction, right, hovers over all of us. And that thing operates on the principle of giving, of love. Right? So he has more to give than I do. Right? And so I chose my side. Right? And if he was, this is my point, right? It's twofold. Two points that are made in that, right? The first of which is that now as a result of him, like having done everything that he's done, right, as far as his campaign, which WME has been aware of, as well as Sony, they know that he was doing something with me, that he was handling me in some way. Right? And of course, got a lot I could say about that, right? But now that he's failed, right? Like he can't. Like I'm not gonna blow my brains out. I'm not gonna do that. Nah, no thanks. You're not that strong. You're just obnoxious, just like me, I suppose. Right? But now, right? He has engendered a condition psychologically in both of our minds, right? that compels reconciliation, because otherwise we're just mentally ill, you know? And so he wants me to sue, like that's what he wants. I have no money. Right? I was working and he tortured me to the point where I felt like I needed to go to the hospital, right? And I shouldn't have. They can't help at all. Nice people, well-meaning people, but they can't, right? That evil that he puts on me, right? Number one, it came from me, right? Because I know the game, right? We're playing the psychic mind, oh, I'm destroying you with my mind game. That's the game. Right? But as a result of his failure, now he is in a position where he has to either reckon with the fact that both of us are psychic phantoms in the other's mind, right, forever, right? Not for a week. Doesn't work that way, right? Or he has to send people to assassinate me. That's it. There's no middle ground there, right? It's either reconciliation or mental illness. That's right? There's no something in between there. And I'm wearing it well. I suspect he is too. Right? But my point is that, right, it's twofold, right? Is that he's kicking off that movie and he's getting his Lifetime Achievement Award with the Burbank International Film Festival. And so, but wait, why? What do you mean exactly? Right? So, right, after I blew it at Tribeca, leading into, right, going to see Fish for the first time, and it's all in this novel. I'm going to start reading from my novel soon enough. I got the message. Right? I knew that he hated me. And I was moving on. Right? I had my audition at the Folger Theater. Right? And I suspect now he did everything that he did because he didn't want to see me go audition, because he knew that I would have got cast likely. Right? But in any event, right? He did all these things, and then I revealed myself at the first of the year, right? And I said, oh, well, how about this? Right, there it is. There's the board, right? My Celestial Vision Board. And within like a week, he said, no. This isn't what I signed up for. And I'm not going to go on and on about that, right? But I've been trying to come clean ever since, right? And then he descended into palpable black magic evil in April of this year when Fish was playing in Seattle, right? And so I took everything down. I said, no, it's too evil. Like, fine, dude, fine, cool. You know, like, good for you. Badass movie director, prepared to be the most degenerate, evil man that the mind will allow. That there's no, right? The next step is him killing me. That's what it actually is. Just so that like we're all on the same page here, right? And if he buried me in these tactics, right, that it probably would kill me. It probably would give me cancer or something to that effect, right? But after I took everything down, right, eventually, right, he did his retrospective at Cannes, right, on Red Canyon and whatever that other one was. And he had people on me, right, making my life miserable, right? So that Quentin's mind could be clear, you understand? Right, that me and Quentin, like, we're right there. Right? Because him, and it's not just him, you know, it's everyone around him. The people that are closest to him, right? It's called building a coven because he has two women in his life. Right? So, I wasn't ready at Cannes. Right? And I was perplexed and bewildered by it. Like the depth of their torture, like in that, so why? You know, like, why? It's going on. Like we've been at this for a year, like over a year now. Who cares? Like, what do you guys get out of this now? Honestly. And then I looked it up eventually and saw, oh, he had his monkey suit on and was talking to 1,000 people. Right? That's. So, right, my point is that this channel exists now, right? Because he's going to do the same thing when he gets the Vanguard Award, right? Anna Mayberry and every single one of those motherfuckers on the board at the Burbank International Film Festival support and insulate a dangerous evil, right? And then, of course, WME does too, right? I feel evil right now, right? Oh, is this a crazy guy, right? So, right, if he was actually cool, right, he would have looked in, right, paid me nothing, right? And they know every time I really feel evil, I'm going to write Westboro Baptist. No, it's over, the evil, it's just sick. Right? But he could have produced a non-disclosure agreement through his agency. He never had to say anything to me. Right? So there's the money for the scene. You sign that, you go fuck off anywhere. Right? He didn't want to do that. He wanted to try to like trick me into blowing my head off. To trick me into walking out into traffic. Right? That's right. Now that he's failed to do that, right? He's descended into real degeneracy, like really palpable black magic evil. Right? So